The Job Insanity Podcast with Erik ten Haven. Episode number
7.
Let the show begin.
Today I'm blessed to be speaking to an Arsenal football legend, Ray Parlour, nicknamed the Romford Pelé. A non-pretentious man that has never adored the limelight, but, as he explains, couldn't get a bigger buzz than walking out in a stadium with 40,000 people. Ray speaks about his selfless role in the team and how he feels he got the best out of other players sometimes. Ray is still a very hardworking man, still involved with football in many ways. He's trying to do the best he can at everything that he does, like he did for 14 years on the Arsenal pitch. Ray will share in this interview why he feels he is the luckiest man in the world, having the best job being an ex-player. Ray now feels freed from the regimental life of football to spend time with his 5 children and visit and see different places in the world. He wishes for everybody to be free and enjoy their life. I give you the Romford Pelé, Ray Parlour. I'm sitting down with Ray Parlour in Jakarta in the Dutch. So, first question, obviously in this location, Ray, is we're in the Dutch, a restaurant in Jakarta. So,
yep.
What kind of memories do you have for the Dutch and with the people you work with?
Well, obviously I've been here a few times and it's always a good vibe in here, and lots of places in Jakarta are very good, and everybody's got a smile on their face, enjoying themselves, and I've got a mate called Rob who I think lives down the road.
He lives down the road,
so he
yeah.
does bring me in here quite often, probably too often. But again, I love having a few beers and hanging out and talking to the guys in here, because there's a lot of expats in here, and it's always nice to meet new people.
Yeah, a lot of Arsenal fans in Jakarta as well. I think they have the biggest fan club of Arsenal. I think they're bigger here than MU, I think.
Okay, I think Manchester United probably are the biggest around the world, but in different sort of areas that Arsenal have got a good following. I was at the screening last night for the game against Spurs, and there must have been at least 1,000 people in there. So it was a very, very busy room, and there's people who was outside who couldn't get in. So it was excellent that they all turned out, and show me about the result if you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, look, I would like to interview you on your views of life and how you spend the time of your life doing what you love to do. And the first thing that I noticed is last year you launched your autobiography.
Yes.
So it's a book about your soccer history and about your life. But what made you decide to write it down in a book?
Well, it was the author who I know very well, Amy Lawrence, and she's got a lot of. She knows Arsenal inside out. She's a big Arsenal fan. She lives in Highbury, where we used to play. And I was always thinking about doing one, but I've never got round to doing a book because I did have some stories, and I was lucky to have a great career. And I just thought, she more or less was the last push. Really, for me to say, okay, I will do it. And we had lots of fun doing it. It probably took me 40 hours meeting up in pubs and around our house and just talking about the whole stories, really, because I think football has changed so much now from when I played. Because the early 90s, a lot of socialising, a lot of going out with the lads, and now you've got to be so professional with all the social media, and you can't be caught out and do this, do that, and so I thought, look, why not? And I was lucky to win lots of trophies as an Arsenal player, and sometimes it's nice to when you get older, you've got that memory of that book that what you wrote, and I've had so much good feedback of it, and I'm really pleased I did it now. But I was I could have gone either way.
Right.
At one stage, I couldn't be bothered to do it and couldn't be bothered to sit down and talk about my life. But in the end, I think it was definitely the right decision for me to do it, and really pleased I did do it.
Do you think it's also an inspiration for younger people, not so much only soccer players maybe, but maybe people that are, because you came from a struggling background, you played for a long time, and then you came to that top and you reached that success.
I think I always say to kids now, look, you've got to do homework, you've got to do what you do at school to hopefully give you a good life, but you've got to work hard. Whatever you do, that gives you that inspiration. I always dreamt of maybe being a footballer one day, but it was down to a lot of hard work. It wasn't just put on a plate for you to say that you're going to be a footballer. You had, as you rightly say, ups and downs during it. And I think that when I first signed for Arsenal Football Club at 11, you always dreamt one day you'll make it. But at 16, that's when you go in with all the young kids and go in there. And there's probably 15. It's probably about 40 kids, and I was probably about the 15th best player. So, I wasn't guaranteed to go anywhere, but I think I just worked that little bit more. I had a little bit more desire to make it, because I always said to my mum, and I thought I can't let her down, that I'm going to be a professional footballer one day, because I left school a little bit too early. But I had that little bit more drive than some of the players, and that's probably what got me a little bit closer to the first team quicker than some of the players in my team.
Yeah, and I've also read interviews with you where you talk about the fact that in the team in Arsenal that you played in, a lot of people were sort of looking at you as like the unknown or the unseen player in the team, but you have spoken in interviews about the fact that you actually love that role of being a supportive player inside a team, and I thought that was those were nice words.
Yeah, there was a lot better players than me, but I was always seemed to be picked, so I'd done a job for the team that got the best out of other players sometimes.
It's also very important. That's leadership too.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I didn't look, the limelight didn't bother me. I didn't go into football to make money. I just went in for the love of the game. And the money comes to you. If you're successful, the money just comes to you. I never really chased money. They used to give me contracts when I didn't even ask for a new contract. So I was always in that sort of mould, and I always had that belief that once I got into the team, I'm going to work even harder to stay in the team. And I think Arsene Wenger was a very fair manager like that he once said to me, look, if you play well, you'll play next week. And as a player, that's all you need to hear, because it's all about your performance now and the team's performance going forward. But there was a lot of people, a lot higher profiles than me in the team. But you're going to get that in every team, and that's what makes a team successful.
Yeah, perfect. I have this question that I thought about this afternoon. I want to ask it to you. How lucky do you feel that you've spent your life doing the thing you love to do?
The luckiest man in the world. I'd always say to any child that I had a great life. You was very lucky to play football. You didn't really realise what you was achieving when you was playing. But you can't get a bigger buzz than walking out in that stadium, 40,000 people. The first few times it was quite nerve-wracking, but as you get used to it, it's the best thing in the world. And you train during the week, but the match day, you can't beat the match day. The match day is and you do have some bad games, and you think, oh, I've had a nightmare today, and everybody knows you've had a nightmare. But it's all about you playing well the following week. But I've been so lucky. But sometimes you make your own luck as well, I always say, while working hard and you might just get a lucky break more than other kids. And to be fair, there's so many kids out there who didn't get the chance, who probably are very good players, but I had that lucky break, and you got to take it when you get it.
Yeah, I think it's a combination, as you mentioned, of hard work, and then when the opportunity is there, because you've worked so hard, you're there ready to go.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. But look, you've got to have a bit of ability as well. But sometimes, you might play a fantastic game when the manager might be watching the reserves, and he don't go every game. He probably might go a handful of games, but you might have a special game when he's there, and he just it just goes into his mind. Said he done well in midfield. Okay, we just keep an eye on him, sort of thing. So I think I had some lucky breaks like that. Every time the manager seemed to be at the games, I was playing well, and I think he was always had me first choice to get into the team before other kids in my same position.
Right, and your life ain't over. You're a young man. So what's the passion you have in your life now? What is really important?
I've got 5 children, so they're very important. That I try and help them in life. That my mum and dad were great. They didn't have a lot in life, but they taught you the right way to act around people. And have manners, and say thank you and say please, and silly little things like that. And I think if you can get that in your life, then you're going to have a nice life and be successful. But for me now, I love what I do. Sometimes when people call you a legend, it is probably the best job in the world to be an ex-player, because you travel the world, you can enjoy yourself as well, which some players probably can't now. And I do lots of media work in England. I watch football every week, and I can't ask for more, really. I've got a great social life with friends and my family as well. So everything's really good. But you still got to work hard. It's still in my makeup to sort of try the best I can at everything I do, sort of thing. And I think that's the beauty of some people, that they can, whatever they do, they're going to try and beat. And I don't like to get beaten. I'm the worst loser in the world. And I try and teach my kids that. Look, be gracious in defeat. Shake people's hand and say well done, but make sure you give everything you've got. And I've always said, when I walked off that pitch, if I always thought to myself I could have done a little bit more today for my team and my teammates and myself, then you've had a poor game, because you've got to give everything you've got in that game. And it's like that in life. You've got to give everything. If I'm doing a media interview, you've got to try and do the best you can every single time.
Do you enjoy the sideline as much as you enjoyed the pitch?
No, the pitch was always the best. That always
hard to beat, yeah.
But the problem is that you get old and you get injuries, and you have to know a time to say enough is enough. And I got to a stage where I was about 44.5, and my knees were swelling up after games, and I had a couple of cartilage operations, and it just wasn't enjoyable. It weren't as enjoyable as it was when you knew you could run around and make sure you can be competitive. You can drop down leagues if you like, but I thought, look, I'm going to try and go out as high as I can, and I ended up playing in the Championship. And
scored some beautiful goals. They're being repeated everywhere all the time. They're sort of chasing you all the time as well, which is nice, right?
I know, it's brilliant, and it's a fantastic situation now. Yeah. And I really am honoured when people still come up to you and say, "Can I have your autograph? Can I have pictures?" And because you never know, you can easily be forgotten very quickly in football. As soon as you are out of the limelight, suddenly you've got a normal life again, and suddenly that's it. But I'm really pleased that you did have a good career, and people still recognise you and still see your goals, and that's the beauty of YouTube and all these sort of stuff that they can show back in the day stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. If you would go a bit back in history, maybe you go back to the time that you were 20.
Yes.
And you look back at Ray Parlour at 20.
Yeah.
What would you tell yourself? Would you tell yourself to do something different than you did in your life?
Not really.
No?
I mean, I don't think you can have a lot of regrets. Look, you made mistakes. There's no doubt you made mistakes in your life. When you're young, but the thing about mistakes is that you have to learn from the mistakes. There's certain people who don't learn from their mistakes, and they make more mistakes. So look, for me, getting in trouble when I was younger, I learned straight away that this is not the right way to act, and I changed it straight away. So I think that if you do make mistakes, it's how you rectify it and how you learn from the mistake you've made. And if you can do that, you'll end up still having a good career.
Right. Fantastic. I've got one closing question that I will ask to you to be wary of the time we've agreed. But before that, I wanted to ask you if people and fans would like to reach out to you. How would you prefer them to get in touch with you? If they want to say hi to Ray, or they've listened to this podcast and they want to say hi?
Well, I do the social media on Twitter. I haven't got Facebook, but I do Twitter. Real Romford Pelé, believe it or not. That was a nickname given to me by one of my teammates.
Romford Pelé.
Real Romford Pelé is on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it was Mark Overmars who gave me that nickname, which was quite a funny story. But look, I go to a lot of events, and hopefully I'll be back in this part of the world very soon.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I mean, I do travel a lot now, which is great. I love travelling to different countries and seeing the children and their smiles, and because they are very friendly at this side of the world. I've noticed that a lot, and the manners is unbelievable. They're always happy and thank you and please, and it's great to see, and the children are the same.
I think especially in Asia, the people here are very appreciative.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what you probably experience here too.
Well, I've got a lot of joy out of being here this week, because we done a project with Save the Children and obviously Arsenal Foundation, and they built 3 pitches in the slum areas, which these kids have not got nothing. You go and visit them and they're all happy, and I've been to places like Philippines and Manila when I visited the guys around a dump site, and these kids, again, they've got a little bit of plastic and an elastic band. And I always try and tell my kids how some other kids live. Look, you're lucky. And it's not your fault that but there's a lot of kids around the world who are really suffering. And if you can do a little bit back, give a little bit back in for that, it's great. And you get a lot of satisfaction, I do anyway, that I can see kids running around on the pitch. And they seem to forget about all their life and what they've gone through, and in their short life so far. But once they're on that pitch, they seem to express themselves, the smiles and running around, enjoying themselves, and it's great because some kids grow up too quickly for me. And I think it's great that you see kids being kids, and what we've done with this project is they've got safe places to play, and it was packed, and not just the footballers, the little kids running around, playing silly little games, and it's great to see. So I get a lot of satisfaction out of that, and hopefully I try and drum it into my children that these kids, there's a lot of kids out there who didn't have what you had, and you've got to appreciate that what you've got, and make sure you learn from kids who haven't got anything.
Right, fantastic. My closing question, which I ask all my guests, is what does the word freedom mean to you, Ray?
I won't say freedom. My wife does tell me off on certain occasions when I go out too much, but I think freedom is a word that you can around the world, people peace and freedom, and go day-to-day lives people can enjoy. Even if you struggle at times, it's always nice to go out and meet different people. For me, freedom. Look, football was quite regimental, if you like. I mean, you was told what to do on many occasions, and you had to stick to that rule to train and play and this. They eat and stay in hotels and this, that. So it's a very regimental life. But now, hopefully, I am free to go and visit different places, different countries, and see different people. And I think everybody should be free and enjoy their life, and as much as they can with the resources they have. And if they can do that, then we'll have a better world.
Yeah. Ray Parlour, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you for the contributions you make to the world. I think it's important you do. And again, I'm super appreciative that you make the time to meet me.
My pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Job Insanity Podcast. Please visit jobinsanity.com for more information and show notes.